I'm Amber Shannard.
Simi Pam.
Roisin McBrien.
I'm a tattoo artist.
I'm a locum doctor.
I help people achieve their financial goals.
I'm powered differently.
Differently.
Lizzie Golden.
Sydney Gregson.
Freya Orkin.
I'm a solicitor. I'm a teacher.
I'm a marine biologist. I'm powered differently.
Definitely.
Karis Cox.
Lucy Knight.
Isla Curfew.
I'm a registered nurse.
I'm a flight lieutenant in the Royal Air Force.
I work in construction.
I'm powered differently.
Differently.
Good afternoon and welcome to the Stoop for round 2 of the Premiership Women's Rugby competition. It's Harlequins hosting the reigning champions Gloucester-Hartpury. We are nestled up in the gods in the shelter from a drizzly West London, but back when it was shining a little earlier and a touch drier, I posed some questions to newly installed head coach of Harlequins, Ross Chisholm. A week ago, we were stood here on this pitch and it was a real blend of emotions. There was pleasure in the performance, but great disappointment in not coming away with the victory. So I wonder, what's the atmosphere been like amongst the group, amongst the club this week at training in preparation for round 2?
Yeah, those emotions were strong after the game and they were quite strong into Monday. We were really pleased with a lot of elements of our performance. You know, we said we wanted to go out there and perform was a big thing, and in a lot of areas we did that. I think I said after the game, you know, we missed 2 opportunities with 2 forward passes, had a try held up. So we were pleased that we created the chances, and we sort of spoke about trying to have a bit more clinical edge going into this week. But I think, you know, it's the old cliche in rugby, isn't it? You only have a very short window to process the game and think about it, and then you're on to the next, which is again an exciting opportunity this weekend. We welcome the champions here, brilliant side, really well coached, and we're excited about the opportunity going into this game.
Well, you used the word challenge, and there's a big one with Exeter coming last week. It then gets even bigger with the champions, Gloucester-Hartpury, back-to-back champions no less. You've been working on being more clinical. What have you been working on specifically with their game plan in mind?
Yeah, look, what they've done in the last 2 seasons has been impressive, and it is a great challenge for us. As I said previously, you know, every team wants to be competing for pole spots, and we're no different. And you know, to be up there with the best, you've got to beat the best. So it's a really exciting opportunity for us. We'll focus definitely on our performance, and the DNA coming out again. That brave, physical, entertaining is really important to us, and we want to play our unique style. So within that, you said about the clinical edge, just almost like how do we create the space, how do we move that ball to the space and take our chances when we get them, because you don't get loads at the top level and you have to nail them. So that's definitely something we've spoken about this week. But you know, as I said, we are very excited about this opportunity here. We love playing here, and you know, what better place to do it.
Look, we speak about sort of confidence in the group, and you know, there's no greater sign of that than you've just made one change to the 23 from last week. Izzy Mayhew comes out of the side, but you get to bring in an Olympic Sevens winger, so it's not too bad, is it? But talk to me about that, just only making that one change.
Yeah, as I said, we were pleased with so many elements last week, and you know, we're excited about the opportunity. It's not every day you get to be able to pull in the likes of Heather Cow, who club legend, right? So it's exciting. We're excited to see what that back 3 can do today. Excited to see Lisa Newman in that 13 shirt as well, and ultimately it's about how often we get them the ball and take, as I said before, like take our chances, and I'm pretty confident that they can do that if we give them that opportunity. So yeah, look, it's exciting. Again, we get to see some young talent out there, and yeah, we're looking for another good performance.
We're looking forward to seeing that performance. Thank you, Ross.
Brilliant. Cheers, Joe. Thanks.
A glow of optimism from Ross Chisholm after the exploits of last week, and all the key personnel in attendance, including 2 flag-bearing mascots pitchside. But let's talk about the women who'll be pulling on the famous Quins quarters today. Well, there is no ringing endorsement quite like an unchanged 15, let alone an unchanged 23. And it would have been that had Izzy Mayhew not been available. However, it'll mean just one change. It means we get to see another Olympian on the field. Heather Cowell comes in and takes the 14 jersey, which is exciting because Lisa Neumann, the power punching winger from last week, comes in at outside centre. That means that young Katie Schilliker will be on the bench, and she's accompanying Cherie Cooper, who's set to make her 50th appearance in Quinn's colours. Langi Tuima continues as captain, and Nicole Wythe, the barnstorming back rower who delivered Quinn's sole try in that narrow defeat last week, is back wearing 6. But despite the, at times, uncomfortable nature of the 5-match point victory for Gloucester-Hartpury last week, Sean Lynn makes very few changes. The back three is unchanged, and it's got Emma Singh, Charlotte Woodman and Rachel Lund, all try scorers against the Tigers. Emma Singh with an early contender for try of the season. Steph Else continues as captain, wearing the 6 jersey, and well, that's part of a pack that is completely unchanged. Millie Hyatt adds some excitement at 10, and Jade Shekels is promoted from the bench to the 13 jersey, which means Pip Hendy moves to inside centre. Big day for Cherie Cooper. There was a pre-game celebration in the bar where Ross Chisholm spoke about her dedication to the jersey. She was a Quins fan as a young girl. Now she will take to the field as a half-century. And whilst the Gloucester-Hartpury 16-20, the entirety of the front row and second row replacements are all just 18 years old. Speaking of ringing endorsements and unchanged team sheets, I'm delighted to say that we have the same exalted company up here for the match day. Beth Wilcock has rejoined me on the mic.
Hello, hello.
Right, Beth, you've been in all of these talks this week. There was a bit of a glow of optimism despite not getting the result, but we're going to pause for a moment, for a special moment. Cherie Cooper, 50 appearances in the most famous quarters on the rugby planet. Debut back in 2019, a Quins fan through and through, and now a milestone woman.
It's great to see Cherie Cooper run out there with family, with friends. She's done so much for the team, for the club, and is always wearing a smile in those quarters, so it's brilliant to see her out there.
The wet weather hasn't dampened the rowdy spirits of both home and away fans here at the Stoop for round 2 of the PWR. Gloucester-Hartpury, the reigning champions, in electrified pink, kick off into the hands of the Quins, who return with a bit of interest. Lisa Neumann in her new numbered jersey of 13, getting some good momentum before a bit of a scrappy pass undoes that tidy work from the off. It is greasy out there. We had a real downburst for a good 20 minutes before the game started, but the rain has nothing to do with that error. It's passed back in straight out on the full, and Quins straight under pressure in their 22.
I think that's a real shame, starting the game off to not a great start, but I'm sure the Quins will carry confidence from their defeat last week, where we put on an amazing performance, and I'm sure they'll be hungry to get some tries on the scoreboard today.
Well, one thing that Gloucester-Hartpury are known for, one thing they relish, is the driving maul. It was their saw a source of salvation when they were rattled early against Tigers last week, and it yielded some nerve-settling tries, and they get a penalty, and with very little hesitation they go into the corner via the boots of Millie Hyatt. Early pressure from the champions. Early defensive questions to answer from the Quins. Gloucester-Hartpury get a nudge just on an angle round the left fringe, and they stay connected, but they're down to the ground. Referee's arm is out. It'll be penalty advantage to the visitors for a side entry. And Gloucester-Hartpury tighten their grasp round Harlequins' 5 metre try line area. Doesn't go to Else this time, but they do go to the front and they do resume position. Quins battle. Gloucester-Hartpury reshape, reform, and they plunge through the vacant hull, and it's Amy Dale in the tries once again in this season's PWR.
That's not going to be the start that the Quins want. We focused all week about starting fast, starting hard. However, this will be a true show of how we bounce back. It's early on in the game, plenty of time to get back into it, and hopefully we come out raring to go.
And when you come up against the champions, they are pretty ruthless, aren't they?
Yeah, 100%. Gloucester have been on form, especially the past couple of years, and they're definitely a threat when we come to play them, like any team in the Prem nowadays. But it is the battle. We do want to get a win over the reigning champions, and hopefully today's the day here at the Stoop.
Well, you didn't even need to watch that one. You just needed to listen. The sweetest of strikes from Emma Singh. 5 turns to 7, and the champions are in charge within minutes here at the Stoop. A deep and wobbly kick that is just about managed between Hendy and Singh. Two players who know each other very well from their time at Hartpury University, which is just the ultimate talent pathway. There's 9 current university students in the match day 23 for Gloucester-Hartpury today.
I think alongside the match day 2023, it's brilliant to see some back 3 players in and amongst that centre partnerships. Pip Hendy playing 12 and Lisa playing 13 for Quins. It's going to be a fast back line, especially with all those back 3 players in and amongst the whole back line. So hopefully we'll see some fast rugby. It's not the conditions we want, but it's definitely there to play with.
And it's Gloucester-Hartpury who are the ones playing right now. Beth Stafford directs herself forward before Hyatt drops into the pocket, and she sends one angled into the arms of Lauren Torley. Puts a bit of footwork in, dances around her fellow GB7's teammate Shekels, but she gets clattered by Hendy. Nicole Wythe going forward, the only direction she knows, slapped across, and Crompton does really well before Shekels wraps her in her tentacles.
The GB7's girls aren't taking any friendships today, are they, on either side?
Well, there's 6 of them out there, and they will have probably seen that their new coach Giselle Mather is in the stand today as well. She's got Will Broderick alongside her, the former Brazil Women's Sevens coach who's joined the GB programme. So yes, there's some personal teammate duels that we're going to enjoy watching unfold, all under the eye of the new coach. Maya Muller, who is the all-action Swedish Sevens player as well. Goes to the tail, finds Miller Mills, and Brooks breaks wide, gets ahead of steam and careers through the shoulder of Beth Stafford, eventually brought down deeper into the 22. Bit of air on the pass as Neumann straightens. Always seems to get meters, the Welshwoman. And Wythe is going to be the target for much of this game. She got through a mountain of work last week and was rewarded with a try, and Muller accelerates into the shoulders of the West Country women. Cromack out the back to Weimer, delays the ball. Torley does very well to hold on to a tricky pass that arrived late. Spurrier, impressive performance last week, very, very lively. Orkin shovels a difficult ball out and Lizzie Hanlon scrambling. And she just about hangs on. That was a let-off for Quins. Promising attacking passage there though, Beth.
Yeah, 100%. Girls done really well to keep hold of the ball there, really accelerating onto the ball and gaining some good ground. Nicole showing that raw power yet again this week. That's a part of her game that she really brings in full force, and what opposes on the opposition. They will be keeping an eye out for her. Gloucester-Hartpury are trying really hard to get up off the line, shut down that ball, and it is working really well. Quins have just got to hold their feet a little bit to play around that blitz defence.
Well, Beth, you've done an excellent job summarising there, whilst I deal with a technical gremlin that means that our screen isn't giving us the picture that we want at the moment. But the picture for Quins is a big juicy blindside here and a stable scrum as Svoboda almost gets wrapped up, but she shows her strength. Torley, eyes light up at the hint of a gap. Quins build, they go for the short plays, they go for the power, but they've lost the ball in contact. Spilt in the challenge and an opportunity spurned by the women in quarters.
I think it's clear to say that Gloucester have done a good review of Quins last week, shutting Sarah Svoboda down really early off the back of that scrum, knowing she's a huge threat. Especially off the back of her performance last week. So we need to adjust to that early on and play it out the back and then punch through the holes.
I'm led to believe that there were some pretty uncompromising defensive drills in the Gloucester-Hartpury camp after last week's match-up. Oh my goodness, speaking of uncompromising. Nicole Wythe leaving opposition players in body bags.
Yeah, there was a good replay during the week as well of Nicole and an old teammate, Emily Robinson, that got shared on the Harlequins social media that didn't go down too well. We had a good giggle about it at training. She's just a different breed of power that she brings to the game. Young player as well, so developing. So it will be scary to see where she is in a couple of years' time.
Very exciting prospect. Gloucester-Hartpury's line out is looking supreme at the moment. So many options from front to tail. So Quins find themselves defending. Orkin, good low chop. Comfortable on the wing as she is at scrum half, and the turnover comes and Muller sticks her head down. Wide, flips it out the back to Cromack. To Weimer, looks to fix the opposition centres, and she gets double teamed by Shekels and Hendy. Just lifted over the top, and it's a really good pick up from Emma Singh, who immediately sticks her head up, drives the kick into the backfield and pursues it. Torley will win the race, and she'll have Crompton on her shoulder. Crompton's electric when she breaks free. Just needs to wriggle through this last grasp, but she can't.
Grace Compton just brings a whole world of excitement when she gets her hands on the ball. She's got an electric speed behind her, acceleration, her step, everything for such a young player, I think, is amazing to see in the Quins quarters. Brings that entertainment side to the play, and it'll be really good to see her with more hands on ball today.
While the England under-20s teammates exchange kicks. Hyatt to Cromack, Cromack to Hyatt, Hyatt into the shoulder of Izzy Hannay. It's a nice balance to the Quins back row between Hannay, Wythe and Svoboda. That team matched by Els, Copson and Hopkins. Good battle out there today. As play develops in the centre of the field, fringe defence left wanting, found wanting by Quins. Blackburn has a dart. And look at the desire of Quins to turn over, to spoil, and they dislodge the ball, and well, the Quins should have been a bit more alert to the potential transition ball.
That was brilliant work there from Lisa Neumann and Lauren Torley, hitting that ruck, knowing they're isolated, knowing they've just made a break. And that's detrimental to what Quins want to do. They don't want them getting into our 22 because we know that Gloucester come away with points. So getting in early, getting possession back. I think we're just trying to chase our tails a little bit. We've come out early score at the start of the game. So we just need to settle, control the game, settle, play territory. It's wet, it's slippery, and hopefully get in there 22 and come away with points.
Parity generally at the scrum, although Blackburn is being a real nuisance and working in tandem with her captain. Gloucester-Hartpury have turned the ball over and they have numbers. Off the shins, no advantage for Quins apart from the fact that the ball is now in their hands. Wythe slips it out the back to Tuima. Real dynamism in the carrying from the Quins forwards when they're playing off the shoulder of the inside centre. She just injects her teammate through the gap. Tuima on the shoulder. Neumann dances inside, brings on the power, needs to look up because she might have support from Orkin, but Gloucester-Hartpury have scrambled so well. Now they look to battle through the depleted numbers of Quins at the breakdown, and a penalty comes, and it may just be a yellow card too.
That's how quick momentum can change in a game. That was an unbelievable break from Izzy Hannay, Langi Tuima and Lisa Neumann. Unbelievable link up. Got caught isolated. We've managed to control that situation and hopefully come away with some points there. And that's how quick a game can turn.
Charlie Woodman, who scored 2 tries last week against Tigers, instead here at the Stoop, will serve 10 minutes in the sin bin. And her indiscretion sees Ella Cromack size up the poles for Quins' first points of the game, which she duly delivers. And in a flash, Quins have their first points. Gloucester-Hartpury have 14 women, and it's a foothold in the game for the Quins.
I think that just goes to show how much development we've made in that week. Being sensible, knowing we need points on the scoreboard because of the 1 point defeat from last weekend against Exeter. So getting early points on the scoreboard, controlling the game will be detrimental to this game.
Well, Cal takes it on the bounce. That's not out of the kickoff receipt textbook, but she's got so much strength from a standstill starter, former gymnast. She was a tumbler, and, well, speaking of tumbles, Gloucester-Hartpury players doing that, but not of their own volition. Wythe controlling the narrative on that one. Cromack drops back. puts a bit of air on this. Singh isn't under any pressure. When we all saw what she did against Tigers last week, just glides through a hole, the long rangy running of Emma Singh. Then she looks to drift the pass into the hands of the support. Pip Hendy does a bit of mopping up instead. Gwen Crabb, the Welsh international, driving on, helped by her teammates, almost stripped in that maul. And then the Jacqueline jaws clamped down. Fabulous work from Lizzie Hanlon. Well, there's Charlie Woodman, who is back on UK shores, having spent a bit of time in the land of the long white cloud, playing in New Zealand with Matatu. I think that's the pronunciation. I didn't check it after it came up last week, but certainly starting her Gloucester-Hartpury career with a bang, but some making up to do as her team is under pressure with 14 women on the field. Miller Mills at the tail, scoops it back on the stretch, as Svoboda does incredibly well. Now goes Brooks. Very, very busy the second row last week. Here's Tuima just manipulating the defence in front of her. She takes it so flat. Miller Mills is all alone, but shows great footwork to evade the big hit from Dale, although the hooker clings on. Svoboda explodes through a hole, weaves through the traffic before the pink swarm gets her into the 22 once more. Gloucester-Hartpury reorganise, and that's a little pedestrian from Quins. Well, lack of ownership and dominance at that breakdown just gives an opportunity for Gloucester-Hartpury to fire through, and they steal it. Quins need to be sharper.
It's just on those breaks we get a little bit isolated. It's as we need to get on each other's tails there, secure that breakdown, 'cause that's where we want to play the ball.
Torley says, I want it. Gives it to Cal, who skips around the challenge, slips the ball. 2-on-1, beautifully weighted. Hannay racing into the 22, still fighting forward. Real energy in the Stoop right now, but punctured by that penalty. And a further 10 metres for a loose word or two.
Quinn showing very good link up with the forwards and backs pack there. I think that ball needs to go a little bit earlier in the space. Don't give Gloucester time to slide off to cover that channel. But we're looking threatening. We just need to secure those rucks in the 22. That's where we're getting pinged a lot.
Well, I'm going to ask if you spoke about this week, because there are shades of what happened last week against Exeter. 65% possession Harlequins had. Exeter made over 200 tackles. And here's a stat that's going to blow your mind, is I think that Freya Orkin made 132 passes in the match from scrum half. So a big feature, and we heard it from Ross as well in the pre-match, is converting these opportunities, because they're not going to come all day against top sides like Gloucester-Hartpury.
Yeah, 100%. I think we really tried to learn our lesson from Exeter. We're trying to grow each week and really develop over the season. I think the big takeaway was a lot of where we played on the pitch was where we want to be playing, but if we don't convert those points, then we're coming away and showing nothing for it. So really, really hot this week on trying to get those points in that end zone. And just being dominant, wanting to get over that line. We're wanting to play with the ball, but we just need that extra push of wanting to actually get over the white line. It's also great to see Freya Orkin at 9. She's been a back 3 player for the last couple of years due to several reasons. And the speed of ball she can put on a platform for us is phenomenal. Her breakdown work, her tackling work, everything you want to see in a 9, and she just needs a little bit of time to grow in that 9 shirt. She's a great teammate, but she'll be detrimental to the Harlequins squad this year.
Gloucester-Hartpury, another foray into the Quins half. Been a while. In fact, their first meaningful entry since their try that means that they have this 7-3 lead with just over a quarter of the match played. Exciting brand that Quins have brought thus far, but yet to yield a breach of the Gloucester-Hartpury whitewash. Cromack.
It's brilliant to see 2 young 10s on the pitch who have got one hell of a boot on them. Unfortunately, that one just goes out, bringing the ball back to just outside our 22. But the kicking game in the women's game has grown so much over the last couple of years. I remember when I first started playing, kicking, a couple of players would kick, but now we are really getting to that line within the men's game of it's a territory game, and a lot of teams are learning that.
Well, you called it right. It's a really interesting matchup between Cromack and Hyatt. They actually played together for England 20s, and I think it was Hyatt was at inside centre and Cromack at 10. So it's sort of a real battle of the fly half bragging rights. Though it doesn't look like either are going to see much of the ball here because the forwards have got it tucked up their jumpers. Hendy, very adept on the wing as well, finding Stafford with her. Just a dart through the fringe again, but Gloucester-Hartpury leave their luggage behind, and Quins survive that mini attack.
I think the Quins girls are doing really well at being patient for those mistakes. We know it's wet, we know it's slippery, we know that if we stick to our systems of staying connected and staying together, that we'll get the ball back within a couple of phases, which is turning out really well for us. I think it's just taken us a little bit long to get into that rhythm, but plenty of time on the scoreboard for the score to change massively, so it should be a very entertaining game.
Low scoring affairs at the Stoop this season so far, but I don't feel shortchanged on excitement.
Yeah, I think this year Quins as a whole club, men's and women's, really go after playing an entertaining game of rugby. We've got the players, we've got the systems, it's just getting into the swing of it, it's just getting that confidence underneath our belt. There's been a lot of change for us this year on the women's side, and we're all super excited for it. We've just got to relay that on the pitch and be hungry for it.
Not long till she's back on. Charlie Woodman, no doubt, will be supercharged in returning to the field and looking to make up for lost time. 10 minutes of it, to be precise. Feathered backwards, wide with a bit of room, goes to the space, and Tuima straightens up. Neumann throws out the fend and gets wrapped up by Shekels. Brilliant counter-up from Gloucester-Hartpury. Grace Crompton has to drop on it. Just that momentum that Quins had rested is robbed back from them.
Maya Muller putting in the meters at the Stoop today. She's getting through tackles, making ground. She's doing a phenomenal job at the moment.
Lizzie Hanlon's having a lively opening few minutes, and Orkin lifts her eyebrows before the pass is gone. I have to say that Gloucester-Hartpury's decision-making around the ruck is excellent, isn't it? They're really picking their moments to counter hard, and they're going to have Woodman back for the cause, but they are making the ball quite messy. They're putting Orkin under pressure, aren't they?
Yeah, 100%, and it's destroying our platform to play quick ball, which is what we thrive off as a team. We've got the quick players, we've got the quick decision makers, but we need that quick ball, and Gloucester are really hammering us in that area. So I think we just need to go back to basics, wind it down a little bit. First basic is to secure that ruck, get the people, get the support, and secure the ruck to create that platform. At the moment, we're either arriving a little bit late or we're getting stuck or getting pushed behind the game line, which is really destroying that platform.
Ball skids through to Torley, who hits the Jets immediately, breaks through the tackles, almost through the second tranche, and Quins again have momentum. Cal. That was a nice arrival on the shoulder. Good defence from Gloucester-Hartpury. Bounce back, Gwen Crabb. Found herself a bit flat-footed going into that challenge. Muller collides with Samuda. Good pick up from Cromack. Neumann.
She's really grown into that crash ball 13 role, isn't she?
Catching the eye, that's for sure. The second rows link up, Miller Mills and Brooks, but look at that from Amy Dale. Hunting for that turnover. Inside ball to Crompton. Shut down in the nick of time by Gloucester-Hartpury. Brilliant take from Spurrier, full stretch, and then takes 10 metres to reward herself. Orkin, bounces through the fringe looking for friends. Sheckles once again working hard. Cal goes in at half-back. Back for more. Quins looking to maintain the tempo. Brooks batters forward. Orkin back dictating terms. Miller Mills dislodged backwards. Play on, says the referee, and Muller buries her head and tries to burrow through. Quins as close as they've been all contest. Neumann has drifted round to offer some width outright, but it's all about up the jumper stuff from the forwards. Point blank range attack from Quins. Goes backwards and still they're not there. Titanic from Gloucester-Hartpury. Now the width, now to Ema. Now just beyond the grasp of Cromack. Can Cal finish? Oh yes, no she cannot. But was she taken high?
That was unbelievable defence there from Gloucester, putting their bodies on the line. Quins taking it metre by metre.
Tricky one, round the torso maybe. Wide, as she did against Exeter last week. Tries to go it alone, but she doesn't make it to the line. 1 metre shy. Quins, charge for the paint. Held up.
That will be disappointing for the Quins girls off the back of last week, knowing all the hard work we've just put in there, knowing that last week we didn't get the score when we were playing inside the 22. However, I'm sure that the girls will bounce back. That will fill them with a bit of confidence. Just unfortunate, unbelievable from Gloucester-Hartpury, bodies on the line. Unfortunately, it looks like one body got a bit hurt there.
Just trying to see who's down there. I think it might be Beth Stafford, the former Sale Sharks captain who joined the circus in the summer. So, bit of a chance for both groups of players to reflect on what has been a full-blooded half hour's rugby. And while Gloucester may lead on the scoreboard, and that is of course the most important thing, this half hour has been Harlequins, arguably.
Yeah, it's looking a little bit like last week. Hopefully it will swing in our favour this week. But it's interesting to see that Gloucester have gathered together as a full squad. Quins have split off into forwards and backs, probably just going through some of the basics, through some of the game plans, because they've been showing that they're linking together really well as units.
Who are the big voices in there for Quins?
I think as a Quins whole, everyone's got a voice, and that's what's so refreshing about the team. Harriet Miller-Mills, her experience, and I'd love to be inside her head for a game day. She is phenomenal. She is such an amazing person. She has the whole respect of the room when she speaks. So she will be a good voice, good calm voice to know where we go next with this time.
Wythe launches herself into the pink barrier and drags 3 jerseys with her. Cromack pops it into the path of Muller, who comes from the blind spot. Svoboda wants it. Orkin takes it alone. Glorious from the flight-footed halfback, and Freya Orkin bursts through, breaks the Gloucester-Hartpury defence, and finally rewards Quins' pressure with a try.
She is phenomenal. She's really showing that back 3 skill. Her footwork, I've never known someone to have such short, sharp footwork as her. And having her play 9 today is going to be a real platform for both forwards and backs, bouncing off each other. Brilliant spot to see. Oh, charge down. Ella Cromack's kick just got charged down by Emma Singh and Pip Hendy. That was a brilliant charge down.
Well, I mean, that's 2 in 2 weeks. You never see a kick charge down. Last week it was Torley swiping the ball away when McGovern was determined to have started her run up, and this time Cromack, maybe too laissez-faire, but Singh full of hunger.
Yeah, no one lined up to chase that kick down either. That might have given Ella Cromack a bit of confidence, know that she's got a bit of time, but from them coming around the back of the huddle, just a little bit unsettling, but something to be aware of.
Neumann and Svoboda are getting through a mountain of work. So too Hanlon, who had a more demure start to her Quins campaign last week, but she has really caught the eye in these opening salvos. Singh whips away from the arms of Crompton, but Wythe gets her. Here's Samuda. Gloucester-Hartpury need a bit of time on the ball. Hyatt, Shekels, beautifully balanced runner. Finds Rachel Lund, who didn't have an awful lot of room. That's a nice line against the grain. Elle Perry, though, gets swatted by Wythe. Better from Gloucester-Hartpury as Gwen Hopkins takes them forward. Hyatt, Singh. No room, no time, and no support as well.
Unbelievable from Jessie Scurrier there, getting low, getting her body on the ball, hands on the ball. Emma Singh couldn't work on the floor. That's vital for Harlequins in this position. I feel like every line out's been on this 10-metre line this game.
Yeah, we've had front row seats for the work of Maya Muller, haven't we? I think we spoke about her fitness, that she's one of the top trainers amongst the Quins, and we're seeing the engine and the dynamism of the Swedish international in all its glory. What about that for a bit of footwork from Amy Dale? Standing up. The opposition fly half. Shekels, speaking of footwork, can't skip inside the challenge that arrives from her opposite number, Neumann. There's Robin Davis onto the field. She's the replacement for Stafford. Suwima locking horns with Dale.
Showing her big boy skills there, coming against her forwards.
It's a contest not shy on collisions at the moment. Hyatt scoops one up. Grace Crompton takes it and she accelerates. Ships it onto Svoboda. He's got such great control of the ball in both arms. Neumann makes more meters. Goodness me, she works hard and is impactful.
I think it's really interesting as well to see a winger come into that 13 shirt, because a lot of the defensive platforms are the same but a lot different at the same time. I know that sounds crazy to say, but she's doing a phenomenal job in the defence, linking up with Langi Tuima, Heather Cow and Grace Compton. It's creating a really effective defensive line for Quins.
Hanlon tumbles on. Cromack has to stoop. Svoboda arrives at 100 miles an hour. Tuima delays that ball. Neumann puts out the big don't argue, but Shekel comes back for more. Miller Mills is greeted by Crabb. Cromack booms one high. Hyatt, no real pressure. Singh. Not sure she caught that how she intended. And Cromack skates across. Cromack slices it off the outside of the boot, and well, sadly for her, that's the third out on the full in this first half.
Yeah, a young 10, you don't want that affecting them mentally, knowing that the kicks aren't paying off exactly how she would like to. But right idea, we're trying to gain territory, she's trying to do that, and hopefully half time, calm her nerves, reset and go again.
Entering the final minutes of what's been another absorbing half of PWR at the Stoop. Tabs Copson. But it's about net flat from that carry. Shekels looks a threat every time she gets the ball. She wasn't not necessarily a tide-turning performance, but she had three really big impacts in the match last week that settled things against Tigers. A tackle turnover, an assist and an intercept try as well. Singh is skipped out and Woodman is on the ball. She has been living off scraps on that right edge this first half. She makes the most of what she's served up. Dale. Svoboda racing out and hitting low. Singh can make something from nothing. And shut her down. Hopkins, good hands. Hyatt goes to Woodman. Woodman's going to back herself, but Torley arrives in time, although the pass was forward. And that will be a very pleasing defensive passage as far as the Quins coaches are concerned.
I think it will be very interesting to see what both teams are speaking about at half time. Momentum, I wouldn't like to say who's got the majority of the momentum. Hartpury are catching Quins in transition quite a lot, stopping them in their 22, hammering the breakdown. Quins do have a lot of ball, sometimes being a little bit isolated, one out runners, but we are gaining ground when we have the ball. We are looking threatening. It would just be, I'd love to see Harlequins back three with a little bit more hands on ball. Maybe not the conditions for it, but we know that they're all complete threats. Electric speed and their feet, unbelievable. So it'll be interesting. Second half is definitely anyone's to grab, and hopefully Quins would have learnt by last week that they need the points on the scoreboards. So some more tries would be very nice before half time. I know we've got 2 minutes, but time on the clock, anything can happen.
Orkin, the try scorer, has Bianca Blackburn as her shadow. And Blackburn is overzealous, but the penalty was already coming to Quins. A win for their front row and an opportunity, as you said, Beth, to take another attacking landmass and launch one final attack. Well, the U's and R's are for a ricochet off the stand that nearly took someone out. I think Quins, conscious that this is going to be the last throw of the try-scoring dice this half, take their time in forming for this line-out. There's 5 individuals in there. Miller Mills likely to be the target. And she is grasping at the air. Orkin, dazzling footwork, but Woodman recovers with her speed. Shoveled to Svoboda and it doesn't go forward. Orkin was looking for an extra gear to finish the job, but she's carried Quins into the 22. Here she is now, growing with every arrival at the base of every ruck. Wide, sweeps up the mess, steals a metre. Tuima, oh, just disguises that ball out the back. Torley gets set upon by 2 pink jerseys. Miller Mills. Hanlon, the former Exeter chief, bringing that Devon grit to the carries. Svoboda. Patience from Quins, no mistakes from this range. They've been denied already. An effort held up. Can they keep their composure and double their try tally? The ball's squirmed free. Shekels comes to wrap up Brooks and the ball's batted forward in the challenge. And Gloucester-Hartpury survive one last siege from Quins. An opportunity gone begging in the dying embers of this first half. And at the break, Quins lead, but you can't help but feel that it should be by more.
Brilliant decision there from Jade Shekels. Getting in on that angle, not allowing that ball to come outside that wider channel to link up with the Quins backs. And it stopped another try. Quins will need to do a lot of problem solving this half time, but I know the girls have it in them. We've been speaking about it all week, so it will be an electric second half.
Well, it was the fastest of starts from Gloucester-Hartpury, who went to one of their key weapons. They deployed the driving maul, and you can always count on Amy Dale to keep a grip of a ball at the back, and she burst through once Quins had disintegrated, and well, it looked like an ominous start from the champions, but Quins have just grown and grown with every burst, every break, just like that one from Tuima. Neumann was on the shoulder, as she customarily has been in this opening 40. She is just so hungry for work, but not just bog standard work, really impactful, meaningful carrying.
Just Langy Tuima's signature there, the no-look pass. I don't know how she does it. I can't make a pass whilst looking, so different skill set there.
Well, with Gloucester-Hartpury down to 14, Heather Cowell was denied quite brilliantly before Quins had another burst, and on this occasion held up. So the pressure to this point had been building, and eventually pressure tells, doesn't it, Beth?
Yeah, 100%. I think second half will really determine who comes out first, who comes out hungrier. And I think Quins have just got to start executing in that 22 zone. we need to learn from our mistakes last week. This is a brilliant charge down from Emma Singh there. Something to be wary of in the second half. So it's an exciting second half and I look forward to it.
Half time here at the Stoop, and we're on the edge of our seats. Harlequins Women 8, Gloucester-Hartpury 7.
Right,
we've
love
seen
animals. My friends will call me Dr. Doolittle. If animals are there, I want to make sure that they can stay there. So conservation is a big thing for me. A typical day in marine biology will include research, how that's going and how conservation efforts are impacting it. Going out scuba diving, targeting the specific areas, making sure that whatever activity you need to do, like feeding the corals or something, is happening. I've gained a lot of confidence being a loudspeaker at Quinn. It's really helped me either in interviews or just working at uni and group projects and things. It's just really helped me be able to speak and think about what I'm saying. If you're passionate about something, you can put your all into it. You can work hard, but also the enjoyment side, like finding the fun in little things and making the most of that opportunity. I'm Freya Orkin. I'm a marine biologist. I play scrum half for Harlequins. I'm powered differently.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that. I know there's only one prior team, but I thought that was a great really well
Well, here they come, the reigning champions who have got their backs to the walls here in West London. It may just be a point on the scoreboard, but certainly the feeling around the Stoop is that this game is in the command of the Quins. And Beth Wilcock, if games are decided on 22 entries, then Quins would be the runaway league leaders.
Yeah, 100%. Currently sat here ripping my hair out over the 22 entries, but we've just got to take our opportunities as they come. We have to be patient, we can't let it rile us up, and I'm sure the girls' heads will still be in the game, hungry for more, and we know, like last week, it comes down to very fine margins, so in for an entertaining second half.
I was going to compliment you on your professionalism because you sounded cool, calm and collected on the mic. However, the picture next to me is, despite injury, hopping up and down, head in hands. You know, you're desperate for these opportunities to be converted.
Yeah, it's hard when you're injured. You're so emotionally involved in the game, and you can't be out there fighting alongside the girls, so you're fighting for them behind the screens. They're all talented girls, all deserve so much, so always will root for them.
Ella Cromack kicks us off for the second half with Quins leading the reigning champions 8 points to 7 at the Stoop. Lauren Torley was only going one direction, and that was up in the gearbox. Gets brought down on the 10. Quins, Muller, backs and forwards, blending wonderfully in this match so far for Quins. It's just that final product. Svoboda spots a gap, but the defence cinches in time. They're playing with 14 as there's a Quinn down injured. Tuima brings Torley. Torley straightened. Torley into the 22. Upended by Singh. Wide now arrives. Thunders into a few more pink jerseys. Gloucester-Hartpury scattered. Svoboda out to Muller. Muller scampering in that 5-metre channel. But Gloucester-Hartpury have worked so hard to re-resource their backline. Lovely inside ball. Miller Mills receives it back from the Canadian 8. That was a timely arrival from wide. I don't know how Shekels has ridden that challenge and come away with possession. Brilliant from the GB7.
The GB7's girls were in full force today. Brilliant line break there from Lauren Torley. Jay Shekels again just turning the ball over in a crucial area.
Emma Singh looks to cut loose. Cal and Svoboda double team Shekels. Has to really writhe to get the ball in a position for her half-back to whip it away. Blackburn out to Hyatt. Hyatt has looked incredibly composed out there at fly half today, more often seen in the centres, but getting her shot as the orchestrator of play. Smart hands, Woodman away. Woodman one-on-one with Torley, looks to round the full-back, but more cover arrives. Freya Orkin working hard on the cover. Scooped up to no one. Hyatt shovels it to Samuda. Right on the fringes, a flat and forward. No, it wasn't. The call coming in from the perfectly positioned assistant right here in front of us. And a very open start to this second half.
Just goes to show how quickly the game can change. Both teams looking threatening, both teams full throttle on the pedal, and it's anyone's to take.
Young fans double flagged as well. That is a diehard right there.
Oh, she's smiling now. I was going to say she looked really happy at the start, bless her.
Get off to Dad to say, look at me, I'm on the big screen. And well, there's the Quins team showing a united front, and they're on a pitch that is going to be bringing the game changer in not too many weeks. Someone did tell me before the game, but I have forgotten the date.
It's the 26th of October.
Yes, Beth.
It was meant to be my return, but unfortunately my selfish brother's getting married on that day.
Goodness me.
So unfortunately we'll be missing that one, not out of choice.
I hate love, hate love. Well, the game changer, and then of course, you know what's coming. It's the big one, the big game over across the road at the Allianz Stadium. Yes, that has happened. And Quins will be looking to break more records as they have been doing year after year with the women and the men in a double header at the home of not just English rugby, but rugby full stop. So a lot of exciting times ahead for Quins Women, and certainly the crowd here appreciating getting back-to-back games in the PWR to kick the season off. The score currently matching that of last week, albeit weighted in the favour of Quins this time. Neumann just wanting Cal to switch with her before going alone. Cal backs her power, dispenses with Pip Hendy, who's stung her shoulder in the process. Orkin to wide, Cromack. Hanlon's up and running again.
Heather Cow, very deceiving. Her strength is phenomenal, especially for a winger. She bounces people off like no tomorrow. She's also got that electric speed behind her as well, so catch her with some space and I'm sure we'll see her fly.
Well, Tuima ran down a pink alley there, turned around and still managed to find a way to not lose too much ground. Someone who never loses ground is Nicole Wide, bulldozing her way through the Gloucester-Hartpury defensive line. Great hit from Emma Singh, brave hit. And Miller Mills picks and goes round the fringe. Nice variation. Quins asking questions of the champions' defence again. This championship team who only lost one match all last season across 18. Orkin milks a penalty. Cromack scoops the ball round the back to Spurrier. Quins looking in the groove, but guess who? Jade Shekels thwarting the Quins attack once again. She is a one-woman crime wave out there.
We just really need to control the tempo. We need to realise we've made a line break, realise that we're a little bit isolated, not being afraid to slow it down and regather as a team. We're just getting caught in that 22 yet again.
Well, Singh learns a valuable lesson. You don't run through Lisa Neumann with too much ease. Two players seemingly at the peak of their powers at the moment. And a penalty to Quins. Blackburn opts to tap and go, looks to mix things up with some tempo, and Wide gets out the way. Quins make the tackle, and the captain Else looks to grab the game by the scruff of the neck. Gloucester-Hartpury going through the phases. Going through El Perry. Singh working hard to get on the ball. She's not content just surfing the backfield at fullback. Hyatt, big pressure on that clearance. Picks out one of Quinn's strike runners. Torley turns Hendy inside and out, and Hendy works hard to get back on her and gets swung around the merry-go-round a couple times. Muller to Brooks. Crab. Planets colliding with the two number 5s. Cromack to Tuima, who picks a smart kick that bounces over Singh, and she's cool, she's chilled, she's fast. She's shut down by Orkin, who's having some game. Plenty of pink jerseys out on this left edge. Shekels, dummies, and gets closed down. Blackburn thought about a dart herself. Getting the hands fast from Gloucester-Hartpury, opening up the midfield. Hyatt under pressure, releases Singh. Miller Mills is going to have to work very hard to reel her in. Woodman arrives. Bit of a physical mismatch. It falls into the hands of Singh, who puts the foot down, skins Torley, and Emma Singh delivers another highlight reel finish.
Brilliant patience there from Gloucester-Hartpury. Quinn's just looking a little bit tired in the midfield. We're getting a little bit narrow, but can't take away that from the link up on the far edge. Brilliant speed on the outside. And Lauren Torley is extremely quick as well, so just goes to show how fast both back threes are.
That was a bit of a crazy passage of play, wasn't it? I'm not sure what the ball in play time was there. It was all bouncing between the 10-metre lines, neither side truly cherishing possession. But champions are ruthless.
Yeah, 100% they are. That's why they're champions. Just no consistency in the momentum at the moment. It just feels like both teams very erratic. Turnovers everywhere. Transition is what's going to break this game apart. And Gloucester just showed there that with a bit of patience behind the ball, they can come away with points.
The strike from Singh not matching her first conversion attempt, but it's the 5 points that matters the most. And Gloucester-Hartpury take the lead as the clock ticks through 50. We've just got a break in play, and for all the quality that we're enjoying out here, we've got to say that there are 36 players between these two sides that are otherwise engaged in WXV. 15 for Quins across 7 nations. There's 21 for Gloucester-Hartpury. I'm sure the Gloucester-Hartpury and Quins England girls are tuning in ahead of their big match against Canada this evening. So shout out to the Red Roses.
Yeah, we've felt full love behind the internationals whilst they've been away, fully still invested into Quins. Good luck messages sent this morning, which is amazing to see, and good luck to them. It's a great opportunity whilst the internationals are away to see the depth that the league has at the moment. Women's rugby's growing extremely fast, and this is the kind of matches you can get with barely any internationals back. Obviously we have Canadian Sarah Svoboda and a couple of the GB7s girls, but it just goes to show that amazing rugby can still happen whilst internationals are away.
Well, after her wonder try last week, and pretty smart finish there, but yes, certainly after the wonder try against Tigers, in the comments of a lot of social media, lots of people saying, why isn't Emma Singh out with England? I mean, there is an embarrassment of riches at the disposal for England at the moment, and the competition is getting no less stiff, that's for sure.
No, it's brilliant because it pushes the Red Roses as well. It really develops their game, knowing that there's potential players coming through, developing players, so it's really keeping the competition high with people putting their hands up, wanting those Red Roses shirts.
Shekels finally tamed by Quins, held up, and possession is in that of Quins, with Scrum in a good position on the field here. Grace Crompton and Lauren Torley are populating that big blind side. We know how Svoboda likes to carry off the base, and she can get some real pedal, can't she? Interesting to see what Quins do here. And you have to say that Orkin is a growing threat as well. It seems that the more arrivals she's making at the base, the more danger she's offering.
Yeah, 100%. Heard a story at half-time that she was a threat as well when she was younger, stepping you at touch rugby.
That was told in the strictest of confidence, Beth. Off goes Lauren Torley, putting the footwork in, looking to wreak revenge on Emma Singh, but the Gloucester-Hartpury fullback gets her woman. Nicole Wide, steamrolling, pink jerseyed West Country women. Penalty advantage. Cromack, Lauren Brooks, up to the 5 metre. Orkin driving that tempo. Tuima, Neumann injecting herself, bouncing out of the challenge to a metre shy. Tuima screaming forward on the short side, but Gloucester-Hartpury have slowed things up. Cromack looks to go over the top. More penalty advantage for Quins. They've been denied so many times in this match from this range. Can they make it count now? Still, Gloucester-Hartpury just put their bodies on the line. Tuima, Cromack, crossfield. Crompton's under it. 1-on-1, but she needs to catch that ball first. Oh, she'll kick herself for that, but they had the insurance policy of the penalty.
Sometimes being a winger, they're the hardest kicks to get under. You know the pressure of scoring a try, you know you're through. Unfortunately, sometimes you can just crumble a little bit, but fortunately for Quins, penalty going our way, we can keep hold of possession.
It's a great brand of rugby, this match, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's great to see both teams trying things, seeing what's not working, seeing what's working and using it in their favour.
Spoil by Gloucester-Hartpury. Wythe drops to it first, but Quins will have to rebuild from 15 metres out now. Muller again goes for a burrow. Miller Mills has been excellent.
Yeah, she's a brilliant player to have, especially amongst such a young team. Keeping that composure, keeping the calmness, and she gets through so much dirty work. No one wants to put themselves through, so she's fundamental for this Quins side.
Tuima, Neumann somehow repelled. Desperate defence from Gloucester-Hartpury. Now the numbers pour in to affect the counter ruck. Flipped out, Cromack won't find a way down that avenue.
This is where Quins need to keep their composure, keep being patient. We've been in this area a lot. The penalties keep coming our way. So just build phase by phase, millimetre by millimetre, and keep that patience.
Round and round the corner they go. Can Quins find a way? Gloucester-Hartpury. Such courage in the manner in which they defended the paint. But Quins now are not even a metre, not even half. They're inches. Quartered jerseys cluster round, more penalty advantage is awarded, and Gloucester-Hartpury may just go down to 14 again.
Quins here need to just keep doing what they're doing. They've been given a verbal warning by the looks of things from the ref. So just keep pinning their ears back, keep taking it metre by metre, and hopefully those penalties will come, which will come as an advantage if Gloucester can't maintain discipline.
Wow, an interesting call. Harlequins applying that pressure, and Gloucester-Hartpury on a final warning, and they are looking to bank the points, which would mean they'll trail by just the point. Very interesting call.
these fine margins really make me uneased, especially after last weekend. But if that's what this game's going to be, determined on fine margins, then Quins need to keep just that scoreboard ticking over. We can't let that lead get too far ahead, and we know what Gloucester are like on a break.
Well, I know that we're at the home of the charge now, but someone needs to tell Jay Sheckles and co that you can't do it on a penalty, even if you're at the Stoop. But fortunately, it didn't have an effect on Ella Cromac's attempt, and we are back to within a point, though the axis has shifted. It's Harlequins who trail by the slenderest of margins, and a change has been made for Gloucester-Hartpury, with young Lucy Simpson coming on wearing 16. There is a bit of buzz about this young hooker. Does it all, I'm told, one to get excited about. She's going to get a good chunk of time here at the Stoop this afternoon. More than a quarter of the match remaining, and the game in the balance.
That's got to be a real confidence booster, knowing you're a young player and you're getting good game time, especially in a tight margin game like this. So it'll be really interesting to see what she has to offer, really put her on a platform to really show what she can do.
Well, there she is, tasting a Quinn's shoulder immediately, and Sheckles looks left, bounces right, finds a hole, gets back up for more, and she's through the clutches of Tuima. Jade Sheckles backing herself against her international sevens teammate, and Torley gets the better of Sheckles. And they have a comedic embrace afterwards as well.
That was brilliant there from Lauren Torley. She knew she got a little bit high, knew that she was the last defender, so went for the ball rip, paid off. They had a little giggle after that. Maybe the friendship's still on the cards after this game after all. I think Langi Tuima there just looked at the ref. It looked like Shackles got tackled, slid out of the tackle and got back up without releasing the ball. But unfortunately, we need to play to the ref's whistle.
You can only imagine what the GB7's WhatsApp group's been like this week with this matchup. And that's to say that there's plenty of other GB7's talent out in the league as well, likes of the captain Emma Uren playing for Trailfinders. And Tuima blasts through. Singh takes not one, not two, but three nibbles at it, and Tuima, rattled by the last incident with Sheckles, does not let Singh from her grip on this occasion. Steph Else gets hit low by Svoboda. Blackburn thinks about travelling, finds Hyatt instead. Hendy stands up. Miller Mills grasping at thin air. Blackburn on the shoulder, outside, inside. Desperate defence from Quins. The arrival of Simpson battering away Harlequins. Copson is there. Gloucester-Hartpury so close. Over the top, Hyatt into the arms of Lund, thrashing her way, looking to wrestle the ball down, but this time it's a feather in the defensive cap of the Quins as they keep Gloucester-Hartpury at bay.
Huge for Quins there, denying entry from Gloucester-Hartpury, especially after how many times we've been denied in the 22, so confidence booster there. Brilliant cover tackle there by Grace Compton and Lauren Torley yet again, and read that miss pass really well.
Lund skates back inside. And holds on a beat too long.
Huge for Quins, slowly gaining that momentum back, showing that Gloucester-Hartpury are stoppable, and hopefully we'll see Quins get over the halfway line.
Missed touch. Singh surveys her options, hesitates, before engaging defenders. From the 10-metre line, Gloucester-Hartpury build. Steph Els literally by the tips of her fingers. Blackburn is looking handier and handier. Smart hands in a congested part of the field, and Gloucester-Hartpury do well to stay in field. Els, such a young captain. It's easy to forget how few years she has on the clock. She's so impressive. Singh throws out a big fend and opens up the rib cage for a tickle from Tuima. Blackburn bouncing around, but the clear out from Woodman adjudged to have been too far from the ruck, I think.
I think it's not spoken about enough as well, how when teams win turnovers and mistakes happen, it's such an energy booster and such a brutal game. It really can feel that 10% more push from both teams. So getting those turnovers, getting those big decisions to go our way, just fills you with energy.
Goodness me, I'm not sure if our hearts are equipped for another finish like last week, Beth. It's been another fabulous advert for the league as a whole in terms of the defensive determination, but also I think the invention in the attack. There's been a lot of variety demonstrated by both sides today.
Yeah, and you see a lot of heart as well from both teams. It's early in the season, everyone's gunning for that top 4 position and to win the league, and we're just going to show that it's anyone's game. Anyone can end up in the top 4, and this is brilliant to see as well. Cherie Cooper entering the field on her 50th cap.
A Premiership winner. Back with you, Izzy. At Kingsholm, ironically enough. She's a Quinn through and through. She works in the Quinn's schools programme as well as a coach. She used to come down to the Stoop as a kid to come and watch the men's team as a fan with her family, and now she can call herself a half centurion in quarters. A great day for Cherie Cooper, but it could be even greater if she and her fellow Quins can overturn this deficit and record a famous victory against the champions who they haven't beaten in 6 matches ahead of today. They have to go all the way back to 2022 for the last time that Quins tasted victory against Gloucester-Hartpury. But that penalty will help the visitors' cause.
Millie Hyatt's having a brilliant game for Gloucester at 10, such a young 10 as well, and she's shown so much control and composure. She's really linking up the forward pack to the back pack, and her passing is phenomenal. She will be a huge player for them this season and hopefully seasons to come.
Gloucester-Hartpury back to their safe haven of the Driven Mall. They're travelling laterally. In fact, they've lost meters, and Blackburn has to fish it out and find Hendy. Hendy finds Neumann. Els works hard to get around the corner. Good carry from the captain. Blackburn looks right, looks left, travels back into traffic. No meters lost. Little bit static from Gloucester-Hartpury, but we're seeing the power they can generate with so little impetus. Crabb finds Hanlon hanging round her ankles. Shekels to Lund. Lund grappling with Orkin, pumps the Pistons and takes Gloucester-Hartpury deep into the 22. Big carry from Megan Lewis. More power from Gloucester-Hartpury through Perry. The most rhythmic they've looked all half. Here's Davies. Hyatt thinks about throwing the long fizzer. but opts to drop the shoulder and travel back inside. It's penalty advantage for Gloucester-Hartpury here. They can roll the dice. Els can roll and rock and roll through the Quins tackles, 1 metre shy. Crab drives to the line. She's got Quins hanging from her, but again, they manage to get their bodies under the ball and they're back for the penalty. Hyatt into the corner. I read her describe herself as a triple threat in terms of her offering as a player: kick, pass, run. And on that occasion, using the kick to take Gloucester-Hartpury to their happy place. 5 metres out. There's a key change for Quins here. Freya Orkin is departing. Emma Swords, freshly returned from Ealing Trailfinders, in at scrum half. She's got a big job marshalling the pack in front of her to try and repel this Gloucester-Hartpury pack. Pip Hendy arrives on the shoulder. She's the next to be wrapped up. Crompton working hard in from her wing to help. Big carry from Gloucester-Hartpury. Devastating one from Elle Perry. The resolve of the Quins is broken. Gloucester-Hartpury have a huge try in the final quarter of this contest. And Sean Lynn affords himself a smile that I think belies a feeling of real nerves here at the Stoop. This is a big kick. Emma Singh, who struck the sweetest of conversions after the first try from a similar position, wasn't able to replicate it second time round as she looked to maximise her effort in the right hand corner. This kick makes it a 2-score game. Which she fails to do, and that'll be a boost for Quins. They know that they're within a converted try, but Gloucester-Hartpury know that they've got the game within their hands now as we look at this finish from Gloucester-Hartpury. It was all the power from Perry, who started life in London as a Saracen, and the old member of Quins' arch rivals has returned to the capital to haunt them here at the Stoop. Big 10 minutes ahead for us. Bit of life has gone out of the crowd here at the Stoop, but the pressure still being applied to Gloucester-Hartpury. Cromack picked out, and she loops it to Torley. Torley eyes up to Neumann, to Tuima. Neumann taken out, Tuima taking on Singh. The arrival of Lund. Oh, the death from Lund. Lund cleaned up by Miller Mills.
That's
Quins' defence all over the place, scrambling for their lives. That's a hit from Sarah Parry. Here comes Simpson, the replacement hooker. What a turnover. Oh, that is so harsh on Lauren Torley. But Gloucester-Hartpury aren't hanging around. Pink jerseys pouring round the corner. Fast hands from Hyatt. Charlie Mans delivers the try-scoring pass. And that is a gut punch for Quins. A double whammy from Gloucester-Hartpury, and that might just be the match.
Yeah, that just goes to show how quick momentum can change. That was a brilliant effort from Harriet Miller-Mills, chasing down a winger there, managing to get a tackle in, but unfortunately passage of play was just a bit too quick. Quins were unstructured, transition again, just going to show how quick I'm getting a bit of offish US in my head.
The tables can turn.
The tables can turn.
Or the
thank
tide.
You
You get tides or tables.
No, I'll stick with tables. I'll just practice that one.
Well, the whole complexion of the contest has indeed turned on its head. 11 points the difference. This kick, incidental really, but it'll all help the champions' cause, and Emma Singh makes it count. Harlequins 11, Gloucester-Hartpury 24. A mountain to climb late in the game for Harlequins.
These last 8 minutes, Quins have just got to empty the tank. They've got to throw everything they've got at it. Unfortunately, at the moment, the scoreboard doesn't reflect the game that Quins have had. However, Gloucester are really thriving on this momentum change.
Well, Quins are a quick score away from making this interesting again. Svoboda loses the ball in contact, but it was knock-on advantage. And there needs to be some urgency about Quins, because the clock isn't their friend here. But for Gloucester-Hartpury, they're so used to winning. They're so used to closing out tight games. But that, by and large, has been done with completely different personnel over the years. This is an incredibly young outfit that they're fielding here. There are, I think I said before, 9 current university students from their Bucks Super Rugby outfit playing today. They've got Millie Hyatt, who is 19 years old. She doesn't turn 20 until April, showing years beyond her age. Out there in the 10 jersey, Cromack to Torley, gets greeted by Caris William-Morris, wearing 23, fresh from the bench. And a bit of over-eagerness from Gloucester-Hartpury, and an unnecessary penalty, and a chance for Quins to drive themselves into the 22.
I think just going back on what you said as well about Gloucester winning mindset, I think mindset comes into it massively. Saris do it so well. Their game plan might not be going how they want. They might not be stringing together exactly what they practice in training, but they've got that dog in them, that dog fight that makes them get over the white line and put scores on the board. So sometimes, unfortunately, pretty rugby and amazing rugby being played, we need to have that mindset of getting over that try line.
Miller-Mills rises highest in the West London skies. The Swedish international hooker Maya Muller has the handbrake on ahead of her, but the ballast of Wythe arrives, and Quins are rocking and rolling and mauling and brawling to this line. The arm goes up, Quins have the response, and Quins have a lifeline against the champions at the Stoop.
You just go to watch that maul, got a bit stuck. Nicole goes and hits it, and the momentum she has in that pack is phenomenal. And her little dance of a celebration, that's what you love to see.
Somehow, Maya Muller has grounded that facing the wrong way, contorting her body to try scoring effect. Ella Cromack, the breakthrough player of the year for Quins last season, with a kick to take the game to within a score. She lasers it between the uprights and it's game on.
A big 4 minutes. We saw last week how tight these games are, and that you literally have to be playing until the ref blows his whistle. Maybe it's Quins week this week to pick the win, but these 4 minutes are going to be huge for both teams.
A whole host of fresh faces are onto the field for both sides. Looks like Steph Else, the captain, may have made way for the final 4 minutes. It's Quins' captain, Langi Tuima, who fields the kickoff, puts it into the arms of Singh, who finds Hyatt, and well, there was a bit of indecision and a bit of lack of ownership of the situation from Gloucester-Hartpury there. That is until Caris William-Morris took some uncomfortable meters. Singh delays the ball. Charlie May-Mans, who can be a bullet to the line, sticks her head down, and Gloucester-Hartpury are on the doorstep of the Quins 22.
I don't know if my heart can do this all over again.
Meg Davies, the Welsh woman, looking to get things moving from Hartback. Hendy battling through the tackle. What a pickup. Fizzed wide, danced inside from Dale. Gloucester-Hartpury finding their rhythm. But Wythe saying no way through. Big runners arriving from the young replacements in pink. There's Robin Davies, another one of the 18-year-olds. So too Gemma Bell. Goodness me, sparks flying. Singh positions herself on the short side. Instead, Davis goes to the right. Oh, and it's a penalty given against Hanlon. And Gloucester-Hartpury are just going to attack, knowing they've got this penalty in their back pocket. Less than 2 minutes remaining. Crabb getting through the workload again. Still the penalty there for Gloucester-Hartpury. A penalty that, if kicked, will seal the match surely. And a pretty simple decision, really, for Emma Singh and whoever's assumed the captaincy out there. I'm not exactly sure, but this penalty will take Gloucester-Hartpury out of Quins' reach. Emma Singh will take as much time as she needs. Her easiest kick of the afternoon. And the kick devastating to Harlequins' dreams of a championship scalp here today on home soil. Harlequins 18, Gloucester-Hartpury 27. The win beyond Quins' grasp, but they are worthy of a bonus point if they can retrieve the ball from this kick. It goes straight out and all the energy is drained from the ground.
Yeah, I think it's really disheartening. Unfortunately, I don't think the scoreboard is a true reflection of the game, but sometimes that's the way it goes. We learnt the hard way last week that you need to put points down in the 22. And unfortunately, that's just left our hands a little bit again today. But a huge improvement of where we were as a team last year. And would definitely continue to grow and build on that. It was great game management there from Gloucester, taking the kick, knowing that those extra points would put us out of reach, and winding the clock down.
Quins still have the carrot of a losing bonus point to try and accrue here. it would be the scantest of reward were they to end this afternoon with nothing. Well, for Gloucester-Hartpury, 21 international stars away. They're without a number of key players for injury. Sarah Beckett, Mia Venner, the likes of, are on course for another 5 match points. Doesn't matter how you get them. The table tonight will read Gloucester-Hartpury played 2, 10 points. It's a case of whether they can deny Quins from getting one for their troubles. Big counter ruck arriving, the hunger undiminished by Quins. Emma Singh penalised for no release, and now Quins have an opportunity to drive into the Gloucester-Hartpury half for one last try.
Unbelievable kick there from Langtuma.
Her best touch finder of the afternoon. And Muller, who's been absolutely everywhere, needs to find her jumper one last time. Miller Mills, you'd venture, will put the responsibility on herself.
I think Quins fighting for this losing bonus point here really goes to show how much it means to us girls.
Nicole Wythe, who's been a force of nature once again in quarters, is stripped in the challenge. And Gloucester-Hartpury are content to hand lifelines on to Quins again and again. But the knock-on draws a conclusion to a full-blooded contest that, if you look at the response of the champions, it is one they have had to fight tooth and nail for. Harlequins have taken the champions to the well, but once again Gloucester-Hartpury prevail, and they do so with a bonus point. It's warm embraces all round, but it was nerves jingling and jangling for large swathes of another contest in West London that have seen a rejuvenated Quins push one of the very best in the league right to the brink. Full time here at the Stoop. It is Harlequins 18, Gloucester-Hartpury 27. Right, Beth, you got to sum that up. I mean, another exhilarating match here, but sadly for Harlequins, another one that's ended in disappointment, and even more cruelly without a losing bonus point.
Yeah, I think hats off to both teams there. It was one hell of a game. Gloucester really going to show their true depth and their pathway showing in full force. Caught Harlequins well on the transition, on the breaks, and looked really threatening. Some crucial defence as well. I think another disheartening one for the Quins girls. Lots of improvements from last week. Unfortunately, just not being able to translate and get that ball over the try line, which is a bit disheartening. However, hats off to them. They put their hearts in the shirts, and I think they're really showing that we're a force to be reckoned with this season, and not to write us off. So it's going to be an entertaining season, lots of hard work to still put in, but we're ready to go.
Beth, an absolute pleasure to spend the afternoon on the mic with you once again. We are going to leave you with the try-lights to enjoy, and I'm going to race downstairs to try and get a bit of post-match reaction after a bonus point win for Gloucester-Hartpury and another nail-biting but ultimately losing afternoon for Harlequins. Ross, here we are again in the wake of another full-blooded performance, but another performance that hasn't quite delivered the win. We've just seen you there in the huddle with your team. I mean, it must be a feeling of just feeling gutted again.
Yeah, it is gutting, to be honest. Like, did the scoreline reflect the game? Like, I suppose in the end it probably did. The difference, the effort and intensity that we put out there for 70 minutes, and then in the last 10 minutes, to be fair to Gloucester, they were clinical, and I think that's kind of the story of the game, is when we had lots of opportunity in 22, same as last week, and we just didn't finish our chances. Lots and lots of pressure in that zone, lots of good approach work, but when you get in there, the game is about scoring points, and unfortunately, again, like we couldn't finish. So, you know, we'll go away and look at that. As we said after, like as coaches, we'll go away and look at that. I'll go away and look at that and reflect and what we can do better, and we'll address it on Monday. But look, credit to Gloucester, when they get in there, they're clinical, and that's the reason why, you know, they're back-to-back champions. So a lot of positives to take away. Again, it's gutting again, but if we weren't creating opportunities, I would be concerned. It's actually, can we be more clinical in that end zone?
You've been a player at the very top of the game, so you'll know all about this. We've seen there in black and white for 2 weeks in a row that Quins have the ability to make breaks, make bursts through the line, to make big yards. What is it about that final 5 metres, that is so different in terms of conversion of opportunities?
It is a really difficult zone to complete in. Like, you know, there's no backfield coverage, everyone's in the front line. You know, we talk about it's like you're essentially defending your home with your life when you're on the goal line, whereas that sometimes is slightly different in the middle of the pitch. So look, it's not through lack of trying that when we get there, it's actually like that kind of clinical edge and a little bit of like technical and tactical stuff that we can go away and work on, and you know, then it's just clarity of call in that zone. But as I said, like, look, I thought some of the approach work today was outstanding. Like, if you looked at meters made and total carries and defenders beaten, I'm sure we'd be right up there. I mean, some of the players I thought our back three was outstanding today. I thought Nicole Wyve was unbelievable, like the amount of carries. Lauren Brooks, I could go on. So lots of good individual performances, but again, unfortunately, we've come on the wrong side of the result, and it's important we go away and we learn and we grow from this and we come back stronger next week. And we said that in the last week, every week, even if the result does go your way, come back, learn, grow, and we push on again, because there's enough there for me to say we're in the right direction, but again, we're judged on results, so we'll go away and reflect and we'll come back.
We look forward to those results coming. Another very spirited performance, and one I know that the Stoop enjoyed.
Brilliant, cheers guys, thanks.
Thank you. Right, okay, let's go and speak to a half centurion, a Quins half centurion. We have Cherie here. Cherie, I mean, look, disappointment around the game, around the result today, I know, but for you personally, somebody who's been on this Quins journey for a very, very long time, you must be immensely proud of yourself.
Yeah, I never felt that I would get 1 cap, let alone 50 caps, so today is a real moment for me.
You've seen the whole evolution of Quins, you know, you've won a Premiership and you've been always wearing the quartered jersey. We're seeing a new team, we're seeing a new regime with Ross in charge, and we're seeing a new spirit in the first 2 weeks, even though it hasn't delivered a victory yet. Can you tell us what it's like among the group, you know, and also compared to kind of the years before that have gone?
Yeah, I think Ross coming in has been a fresh start for us and really needed after the result that we had last season. The girls are really raring to go, and I think, you know, we're still missing a few players from WXV, so I think as soon as they come back in, the whole core squad will be really strong, and we're really fighting for that top 4. So, you know, we're Leicester away next week, so let's see what we can bring then.
I've been lucky enough to spend the last couple of weeks with Beth up in the commentary, and I get the sense that there's a good feeling around the group, and there's a lot of enjoyment about the rugby that's being played, and it feels like that's being translated on the pitch. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, definitely. I think that, you know, smiles all around, and even though it wasn't the result that we wanted today, we're still smiling, we've still got our arms around each other, and we're raring to go again. So let's bring next week.
For you, 50 more?
I wouldn't say no, but let's see.
Well, look, it's an incredible milestone that not everyone gets to achieve, and I think that I speak for everyone in saying congratulations, and it's a phenomenal contribution to the club.
Thank you. Thanks very much.
So lovely to hear from one of the half centurions of Harlequins, someone who's given an immense amount to the quartered colours, and I think you'll agree that all 23 who took to the field gave just the same endeavour in what ultimately was a losing performance, but one which again is an auspicious sign for the season to come under the new regime of Ross Chisholm. For Gloucester-Hartpury, you have to doff your cap to the champions. They were in the trenches, backs to the wall, but they leave West London with a bonus point win, and they are 10 points from 10 points in their opening 2 fixtures. And as far as the PWR goes, what a league to look forward to, and you can join us along for the ride throughout the season across Quins channels, and we thank you for joining us, and until next time, we'll catch you at the Stoop.